running from? I'm with my team, Beasley Green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. That's what you wanted, huh?
What's a man or a king? Reverse of the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talking, no wriggling, moonwalking, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the sea, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? Reverse of the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Said what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy the King. And on this incredible, powerful Thursday, the sky is crackling, the lightning is going, the rain is falling, the gods smile upon thee. The day before Fight Night Friday, the day before Samurai Afro Samurai costume, we up. So I want to give a shout out to George Parcells. I salute you, soldier. Lieutenant Hawk. What up, New York? We're outside. And yeah, what is that? Nanapope? What's good? Lamont Davis. I salute you, soldier. Knights of the Realm Xbox. And what is that? Atreus? Listen, today y'all saw me on, I think it's lunchtime with Boom. Hold on 1 second. Let me mute this thing. No, this is not making fun of C Money, and his phone was going off. Even though y'all dudes, a couple of y'all dudes like text me. Listen, I was just coming from work, and I didn't get a chance to do anything. I didn't get a chance to work out. I didn't get a chance to do the stuff that I was supposed to do. When you make sacrifices, you make sacrifices for your boy. I make sacrifices for my boy Boom. So I got over there as quickly as possible. And y'all saw me on the show today. And one of the biggest talking points, or the biggest talking point on the show, was Game Pass, day and date, and exclusivity. And the whole axis of the show got tilted because there was opposing thoughts. Now, I don't know where you guys stand on the whole exclusivity thing, but today we're going to delve deep into that whole aspect of it and let clear thoughts see us through. Because there were valid points that were made. I bet selfish points, but when you think about it, this hobby is a selfish hobby. If I've always told you, regardless to what, when PlayStation guys would talk, we buy our games, we support our devs without knowing the business. And after me learning the business side of things, Magnum Force was good. Who else is there? Takey was good. You said what he said? He said, I literally just finished Boom Show from this morning. Spicy. Yeah. Spicy is the word for it. You know, that I would say spicy is the word for it. You know, a lot of times when I'm on other people's show, depending the show, I conduct myself accordingly. And I understood that the topic meant a lot to Boom because regardless to what, I hear things in the background. Sometimes I don't want to hear things. To be real with you, I'm not a leaker. Anytime y'all get any information from me, it's just really my thoughts. vitamin E on the lips. Got to make them shine. Can't be out here with some ashy lips, boss. I don't really can't stand Rick Ross, but I don't like liars and frauds. You know, yeah, that guy's weird. But looking at it in its totality, right? Looking at the whole idea of it. Now, the information that we get in, Iron Lords are probably some of the best people in the industry at keeping a secret. Any one of us, any four of us, at any given time can know a lot of stuff, but we don't choose to say anything. Remember with that whole Indiana Jones stuff? We knew. I just didn't think they were that stupid. You see, a lot of times I count on companies to be smart. Like with the PlayStation stuff, I know Jason Schreier. We're cordial. It's not like there's any beef or anything like that. I see him. When I talk to these people outside of it's inside of gaming, so not inside of gaming, but inside of gaming elements. I choose really not to, what do you know? What's going on? I'm not that guy. I really don't care. Like, what's going on with you? How's the family? What's going on? How's the book coming along? Stuff like that. Those type of conversations I have because I'm more interested in the person and then what you know. Because again, unless we're making money, what you know don't help me. I don't care for it. So Iron Lords is pretty much some of the tight-lipped guys, pause, when it comes to information. And a lot of times you hear things, and sometimes I either have to act like surprised or I'm truly disappointed because I didn't think that stuff would happen. Like when, before the 4 games went over, I was texting somebody and they said, some things are going to happen and you're not going to like it. I said, honestly, I don't really care like that. I don't care to the extent that, a lot of people think. At the end of the day, C-Money made up some good points. At the end of the day, he's a consumer. And he's looking at it from a consumer standpoint. Cool. That's great. That's great. It's boring, but it's great. I'm an entertainer. You come here for entertainment. You don't come here for a boring take. You come here for hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know what it is. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. You understand that part? You come here for me to tell you how I truly feel about the PlayStation side of things. You want to know if I really want them to starve out. Buddy, if PlayStation was a real person, I will feed them Popeye biscuits till they pass away. Till they disappear. Because at the end of the day, all the stuff that they have done. What up, Be Nice? Live, what's good? Paulie Baba. 2, what's good? Who else is that? Shannon Winter, what's good? And Wilbo Baggins. Yo, all the stuff that they've done to block Xbox, you're supposed to do that in business. You actually are. So, I can't be upset with it. I could just say, all is fair in love and war. Let somebody else do what they're supposed to do. You see, it's like, I've never heard of Xbox actively trying to suppress Sony. They just play fair. They'll purchase a studio, put out a game, let's fight. Sony would be like, all right, let's fight. I'm going to sneak behind your back, and then I'm going to poison your water, and I'm going to want you to fight after you're all poisoned up. You understand? So I'm like, these dudes is never fighting fair. It's never a fair fight. And it's they're diabolical. They're diabolical in the sense that you get a chance to see how malicious, and when paperwork come out, how malicious these dudes are, how relentless they are. Like, they're maniacal. And it's when you think about it, it's absolutely funny because they're so good at being throw the rock, hide the hand, that you be like, nah, man, there's no way Sony did that. Not nice, Sony. Hell to the nah, buddy. When those paperworks came out and I got a chance to read through the paperwork and get a chance to see the language, you know the reason why Xbox never did a pro console? And because PlayStation had parity clauses within all of their contracts. So even if you had a superior version, even if you had the superior tech, you couldn't outshine the master. They using 50 laws of power. So I'm looking at it like, God damn, this is how it gotta be. So when you have Matt Booty say stuff like spend them out of business, yes, you gotta start maneuvering in a manner that is highly ethical, unethical, right? Highly competitive, uncompetitive. Like, they talk out of both sides of their head. So you got to see it and you got to do it. Because one thing was pointed, right? And okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a scenario posed that this could possibly be true. For us to get exclusivity, day and date will have to be removed from Game Pass. And I told y'all yesterday, I don't give a damn. Other people may feel that day and date needs to stay and they don't care about exclusivity because placing Xbox titles on PlayStation doesn't hurt them. That's lame. I mean, like, from a console warrior standpoint, from my standpoint, that's boring. I don't want you to have a damn thing. Be real with you. Serious. I brought a PlayStation for a reason. I did not buy a PlayStation to play Xbox games. That's not why I got it. Right? So, oh, hold on. Forgot to put my tunes on. Yeah. The alien's back. And they brought the lovely Olivia. It was fun when I found her.
At George Purcell 5331 donated £1.99 through Super Chat. I'd rather have day and date. I love my value.
See, I get that. So let me because Boom never got to this part. See, there's a part in the story that actually changes everything. So Game Pass is going to go through a restructuring, right? It's going to go through a reshuffling, if you will. The tiers are going to get rejiggered. The stuff is going to be added, is going to be crafted. Because again, this whole thing is inherited to Asha. So there was a scenario that was posed that Game Pass can have the $27 tier with day and dates in there, where I think you probably get Call of Duty as well or whatever. And then the tier that you have now, I think they removed some money off of it or something like that. And you have day and dates from third party and indies, but not Xbox titles. But you get exclusivity back from PlayStation not getting any of those titles, only multiplayer and legacy titles. Like, so they will get the Fallout, they will get like Doom. I don't know if Starfield will be the last Starfield that they get under that whole new thing, but that's where Boom was trying to get to pose that scenario before C Money was saying that he don't want none of that. My thing is, and this has to be consistent. Why buy your console? If your goal is to stabilize Generation 9, right? And hardware is a priority, why place your titles onto the PlayStation and it doesn't force them to buy your console? Now, some people may argue they weren't buying your console before, but you didn't have these titles to force hands. You see, one of the strategies that I've seen that I'm in agreement with is this. What is this? Oh, I got that there too? Okay, so I'm going to show you two things. Wow, I didn't know I had that there as well. Sheesh, that's evil. Yeah, I did not know I had that there as well. I thought I only brought over one thing. I brought over something else, and that something else needs to be seen. Okay, so I have this one. Please don't stop playing. I have this one, and then I have that one. Okay. Now, with Xbox level of success, with Forza Horizon on Steam, you know these are paid for, right? This is purchased. And with, you say close to 150,000 of them is the premium edition. They're close to 300,000. Knowing that you got to add in the Xbox, this is a highly successful game early on. Yeah, Forza is so good. Forza is so good. It's so good that Japanese people are saying they rebuilt Tokyo. It's a feel, it's a vibe, it's good. Now, with these numbers of Marathon, and this is not what it looks like now, folks. That was the all-time peak. Sony was finding it supremely difficult to crack the PC code. The return on the investment wasn't there. So, like I was trying to explain the other day, they will retreat back into their shell and try to do something that they're used to. Now, the other day, I don't think people really kind of understood exactly what I was talking about, because it was like my diagnosis of Sony wasn't it. It's absolutely it. But I've been in this long enough to see it. I've been in this long enough to notice patterns. I'm seeing Xbox change their patterns, but they're also changing their fortunes. With greater titles hitting larger numbers of success with Xbox on PC and them fundamentally doing day and date, fostering a relationship with the PC gamer, with making sure that Steam rule set is followed. Like, PC is a different beast when it comes to placing your games over there. You got to make sure that the way that your game loads in is substantial. Like, even that little thing, like loading, makes a huge difference. That brings me to this, that the way Microsoft, and Xbox is viewing the PC, they're looking at Steam. And remember, I told you, when you go into a space, if your main goal isn't to be the man in that space, why are you there? You don't go into something talking about you want to be third place. You don't go into anything talking about, well, I want to be just enough. You go into something trying to dominate. That's your goal. You could fail, but if you're not actively trying to be number one, why are you there? Like, mediocrity, being mediocrity isn't a goal. It's a state that you fall into. And if you're not actively trying to shed that state, if you're actively not trying to remove yourself from that to gain higher, to look at how the best ones are doing it, how can you achieve that? If it be mimicry, emulation, whatever you need to do, get up earlier, work harder, do whatever you got to do, make better games. You see, Phil said something a while ago, and that's Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name. He said something a while ago, if we made games that were 11 out of 10, that still wouldn't sell consoles. Or, I'm paraphrasing. With that, I had an issue. Because Forza Horizon gives way to understanding. This is one of the major reasons why the level of success that Xbox will have on PC is going to be afforded to them. They understand, they embrace, and they emulate. The advanced shaded delivery expands on the public preview with AMD, and this is brought to you by Wendy Ho over at Microsoft. Last October, we released the Advanced Shaded Delivery ASD on the ROG Ally handhelds. Advanced Shaded Delivery addresses one of the frustrating challenges for PC players today. Long load times, disruptive stutters during games' first launch. This feature works in delivering pre-compiled shaders to your game at download time, reducing the load up time to up to 90%, eliminating shader stutter. I didn't understand why this thing was playing so well until this came across my desk, and I forgot they released this thing. But by respecting the PlayStation's, the PC space, and understanding that you have to look at it as a separate entity, unlike the console. You just don't make a console version and ship it over to the PC. It's just not going to work in that manner. They like sliders, they like viewpoints. They like many different things. And if you're not being robust in how you're delivering your title to the PC, they will know. They will know if it's a piss poor port. They will know if you half-assed it. They understand it. And understanding that is probably half the battle. Since launch of the Xbox ROG Ally handhelds, we partnered with AMD to invest to improve the experience of players on the PC. Today, advanced shaded delivery expands beyond ROG Ally handhelds to Windows PCs with discrete GPU and gaming laptop integration GPUs, and AMD players can take advantage of this preview by joining Xbox Insider. This thing is a complete game changer. The load times is insane. And knowing that, they're making sure that they have an Xbox Helix coming forward, Project Helix, whatever the name actually turns out to be. I hope they don't lame out on the name. You have to merge Windows with Xbox and make it ubiquitous. It has to be. It has to be. So in order to go against the best, Steam. See, Steam took their lumps when nobody else was there to fight them. And they grew and people watched them while Microsoft continued to throw half-ass ports over to Windows. We always heard the Windows ports was broken, was slow, was this, was that, had many bugs, and etc. That is no longer permissible. With the games that they're putting out now, you understand that they're respecting the PC. They're understanding this. So it goes back to fundamentally prioritizing what is necessary and what is needed to make a successful game on the PC. The strategy Xbox has is sound. They never needed PlayStation. They always needed PC. Now, that goes right back to the conversation we were having where I felt that it got a little bit from us because people were arguing different points. The point of value is true. As a consumer, yes, you need value. You definitely need to have value. You got 4 or 5 kids, you could probably have one kid in a shitty job, right? Or you got yourself and you got a bunch of bills, you're going through school. Whatever it is, whatever your circumstance is, you want to spend less and get more. And we understand that as consumers. I can identify with it, I can sympathize with it, I can empathize with it. And that is your right as a consumer. Get the most. But as a console warrior, this is where the entertainment comes in. And a tech guy. I don't want my consoles to become irrelevant. I don't want my consoles to become a second thought. I brought tech and I brought separate tech and I got multi HDMI slots to run multiple consoles at the same time because that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, one ring to rule it all. Yeah, it's great. If the shoe was on the other foot and PlayStation was putting games on Xbox, it'd be a different conversation. Right? Why? Because this is an Xbox channel. And it's fun when we do it. It's not fun when they do it. I don't like it when they get our games. Give me all yours. When Helldivers came over, thank you, thank you. Marathon came over, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the console war and the fun part. Right? If you're not having fun doing this, why are you doing this? Why you got a channel? Right? Let's have some fun. Let's get it cracking. Right? So I don't know how they're going to crack that egg. I don't know what Game Pass is going to turn into, but I know currently it has stagnated. It has plateaued. And it needs to continue to grow. Now, if it was growing, how do you get it to grow? Pause. You do that by showing exclusive content in your service that can't be found in other places. Now, day and date was cool, but again, you got to be also advertising it. You don't see advertisement for Game Pass. People don't know what this thing is. So marketing has to be there. Advertisement has to be there. The games have to be there. It's a synergy of different things that make it happen. And I don't think that they've been balling on all cylinders in a long time. I think some people was going full tilt while others was just being mediocre. I think some was striving for greatness while others was just, man, if we do it, we do it. Everything's an Xbox. The hell with that. No, not the hell with that. No. Nah, the hell with that. When you go out and you spend your money, and this is the council warrior in me talking because I buy every damn thing. I'm a tech head. I don't care. You spend your money on the device that you want to win. None of you guys, none of you, and I know it for a fact, none of you buy a device and say, well, if it's gone in a year, so what? No. You want it to last as long as it possibly can last over a long period of time. And that's where they have to get to. I don't like how the generations are now. They're all blended together. We're still stuck in generation 8. We're just getting to generation 9 properly. Games are just making a jump. Everybody seems to be waiting for Grand Theft Auto to make it everything got to be current gen then. Where they're talking about that thing's supposed to get delayed and ship in February 27th. Oh, man. If that happens, we got Publisher of the Year stuff going on with Lords After Dark. And my team, the BBC, I got Grand Theft Auto 6 as one of my titles, and I needed to come out this year. I also got Phantom Blade Zero, and I know that it's a PlayStation marketed game, so I know it's going to rate high. That's why I picked Soros, because I knew Soros was going to rate high, even though the game probably could suck, but I knew if it's a PlayStation game, it's going to rate high, so I'm playing to win. I'm just playing to win. But do y'all know Embracer Group having issues? Now, remember when I said that Embracer Group had went and got Tomb Raider and all those games from Microsoft because they was under investigation? And it was like, yo, homie, do me a favor, hold my joint down for me, please. You know what I'm saying? Because the feds is outside, they watching us. So, you know what I'm saying? I just, do me the solid, and I double back, I hit you with that bread. We good. Because they was under indictment. So they couldn't move no weight at that time. So they was just like, yo, my G, do me a favor, hold me down. That's what I was saying. I'll let you know I ain't no damn thing. But this is brought to you by VGC and Andy Roberson. Embracer announces a plan to split into 2 companies as Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings spinoff. Fellowship Entertainment will now run Dead Island, Kingdom Come, Metro, and more. Embracer Group has announced its intention to split into 2 public companies, with a new spinoff taking over its biggest IPs, including Tomb Raider. Fellowship Entertainment is planned to be established in 2027 and will be an IP-led entertainment company built around the development, publishing, and licensing of games. With a single centralized business plan, the company will take over stewardship of Lord of the Rings IP and the game franchises such as Tomb Raiders, Darksiders, Dead Island, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Metros, and The Remnant. Remnant 2 is inside Game Pass right now. It's pretty dope. Studios joining the new company will include 4A Games, Crystal Dynamics, Dam Busters Studios, Dark Horse Media, Eidos Montreal, Fish Labs, Flying Wild Hog Studios, Gunfire Games, Middle Earth Enterprises, Red Octane Games, and Warhorse Studios. Embracer will operate as a highly decentralized organization with distinct strategies across the business segments and oversee IPs, including Destroy All Humans, Desperados, Gothic, Killing Floor, Kingdom of Almar, MX versus ATV. Wow, they still make those. Reanimal, Ride, Screamer. I like Screamer. Titan Quest, Wreckfest, as well as licenses such as Hot Wheels, Unleashed, SpongeBob SquarePants. A lot of those is racing games. Companies remaining with Embracer include Aspie, BIMDog, Crazy Labs, Deca, Demiurge, DPI, Merchandises, Limited Run Games. I didn't know Limited Run Games was with them. Milestone, Play On Partners, and Play On Pictures. Shout out to Play On, one of the partners at Xbox Frontline News. THQ Nordic, including 35 studios and subsidies, Tripwire, and Vertical Games. This is huge because no matter what, we always felt that Embracer Group was too large. Pause. Xbox has the same problem. 35 studios, but they're split into centralized little hubs. You have the ABK stuff, you have Bethesda stuff, then you have Microsoft Xbox Studios. And the way they're centralized and the way they're run, Embracer Group was bound to do the same thing that Xbox has done. Because either you consolidate a bunch of those studios or you allow them to be isolated, but they have to be under a different hub in order to make the games more efficient, in order to get the games out. I do like, and here's a great, they go into all the CEOs and stuff like that. With all the Tomb Raider games that's coming out, okay, so the group that, the spinoff company that I like the most is the Fellowship Entertainment, right? That's coming next year. Because the IPs there are some of the IPs that I like the most. Like the Tomb Raiders, the Darksiders. The Darksiders itself, to me, I've always thought Darksiders was probably one of the greatest franchises. In my opinion, I really like War. I just really like the IPs itself. And I like the diversity in the gameplays when it came to the Darksiders game. Dead Island is so much fun. I think that's how zombie games are supposed to be played. Crafting, beating, good stories. The last Dead Island was truly fun. I gotta finish it. Kingdom Come Deliverance is chef kiss when it comes to medieval RPGs. Metro, again, is super dope. And Revenant is fun. So all of those games I'm actually into. So I'm really more into the Fellowship Entertainment. I think that is pretty cool for me. And then, you start looking at other stuff like I'm into Tomb Raider. I always thought Lara Croft was a cool character. And then the other ones look like they're pretty much racing games and first-person shooters, except for Destroy All Humans in Desperados Gothic. But Gothic and Killing Floor is pretty cool. Screamer is pretty dope. I love the fact that instead of closing them studios, they found a way to make it work. In a time where I just sent some stuff to Legendary Yobi. What up, Crispy Bomb? My dude, what's going on? Who's up in there? Bear Baron, what's going on? Wraitha Hex, Music, Stitch, King Webb, what's good? K&N News is up in the building, especially that. That's right, let's get it. King, thank you for being the voice of reason as always earlier today. Blessings. Listen, if I don't have to be the comic relief and somebody else could be the comic relief, I could just sit there and give you level-headed thoughts on things all day long. But a lot of people forget that this is absolute entertainment. And I'm fighting for your time. I'm fighting for your energy because it takes time and energy to sit here and watch this stuff, right? Now, one of the companies that I fell in love with a long time ago, I fell in love with this company very early on. I fell in love with them inside Game Fan magazine and Game Pro magazine. And this company started out and they had this like isometric game and it was like some military something. And very early on, it didn't look like anything. But then I went to Electronic Boutique, and that isometric game had turned into a first-person shooter game for a new console that was coming out. And I was like, oh, let me try it, right? Because I had pre-ordered the new console regardless to what. Because Sega was gone, and this new console was coming in, and I was like, let me see it. The controller was stupid big. It was like Duke-ish. And I started playing this first-person shooter game, and normally I play my first-person shooter games on PC. So I'm playing this game, and I got to this part. I went into a corridor, and I hit the flashlight on the little white button it had. It said, hit this little white button. I did it, and the flashlight went up. It was real time, and it was just like, I don't know why it was so amazing to me, but that moment, I knew I was completely in love with this studio. I have gamed with this studio. I have lost so many hours of my life with this studio. From all the games that they gave us from the Halo franchises. And I supported them when they went over and made Destiny. When they fought for their emancipation from Xbox. They kind of did a Tina Turner. All they wanted was their name. They sold their IP that they crafted, that they loved. And they said they believed in themselves so much that they were going to strike gold. And they made Destiny. And I put so much hours into Destiny, it's sickening. But I met some of my greatest friends. I met Hot Monkeys Lovin'. I met Attic. I met Green Mason. I met Foster. I met so many of my friends playing Destiny. We would run raids day and night. We would run strikes. We would run everything. Plays trials. Sinister 2X, X2 was there. It was just everybody and anybody that loved first-person shooters, that loved Bungie, was there. Through their trials and tribulations, I was there. Until they became the ops. This is the entertainment part. When they went over to PlayStation, I had to root against them. I'm sorry, B. That's just how I'm built. Excuse me. This is brought to you by Dextro and Cande Maldonado. Bungie confirms the end of Destiny 2 development with the final update. And the final update is coming sometime in June, I believe, right? June 9th, 2026. After almost 12 years of raids, seasonal resets, storylines that reshaped the live service landscape, Destiny 2 finally got its end gate. Bungie announced that June 9th, the day after the Xbox show, as the release date for the game's final content update, confirming active development stops after that point. The studio spent a decade building an identity around Destiny, weathering layoffs, a rocky Sony acquisition, and the device's reception to Lightfall before the final shape brought the saga's main story to a close. That should have been a triumphant curtain call. Instead, it turned out to be the beginning of the end. What I can say is, being a lifelong Destiny lover, Lightfall just took me completely out. I never finished the story. I never finished those raids. I completely walked away from it. It was so many different things that was happening over at Bungie, and it felt like they lost their soul, like I didn't know who they were. I kind of didn't understand when Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, didn't want to purchase Bungie because they went to him first. And they said their burn rate was too high. We're hearing some of the disgusting things that actually came about with this, I truly understand that it was just a matter of time. With Marathon not getting any type of momentum, the writing was on the door. The other day I said I was going to sit here, I was going to do a video because I said, who's next to go? Who's the next studio to go? Is it Housemarque with the failure of Suros laying at their feet? With Returnal being also ran? Or is it Bungie? Or is it Nixus? Sony themselves has painted themselves in such a corner. With failure after failure after failure. Poor acquisitions with closing studio. With raising prices. We were told that PlayStation prices was raised on one tier. That turned out to be a lie. This is brought to you by IGN. Sony quietly increased the prices of PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium subscriptions too. A cost of doing business, they say. Wesley Vanderpool. Now, they only talked about the PlayStation subscriptions would have been which tier was that? They said earlier this week, Sony announced that starting May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for the new customers would increase to a select regions, blaming ongoing market conditions. PlayStation and Sony said they would start at $10.99 for 1 month subscriptions and $27.99 for 3 month subscriptions, signaling a 1 month increase and a 3 month increase for the subs. Many took it to believe that the essential tier will go up in price, but it turns out Sony has raised the price of all PlayStation tiers. PlayStations will start, it seems, will be doing heavy lifting in the wording of announcements. Here's the actual breakdown. Here's the premium is up from 17 to 19. Extra is up from 14 to $16.99. Essential is up from $9.99 to $10.99. 3 months is up from $50 to $54, from $39 to $44, and from $25 to $28. Do you see how slick talking can get you? But with all that said and done, everything that you've seen, everyone and their mother knows, and this is brought to you by Push Square and Robert Ramsey. Sony's big state of play must deliver as PlayStation 5 perception sinks to an all-time low. Shit was all good just a week ago. They were good not too long ago. But I've been telling you that I've been seeing the cracks in the armor for a long period of time. And I've been pointing them out. This is bad. This is wrong. This is bad. This is wrong. This is bad. This is wrong. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know what it is. We're going to run it up on these bums. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. Right? Told you how it was going to go, how it was going to be laid out, and how it was going to end. One of the biggest shows that they need to have is coming 6 days before Xbox gets their turn at bat. And I believe Nintendo is going to go on either the 4th or the 5th. Because Nintendo respects E3. So Sony could theoretically have the weakest show this June. They could show Wolverine. Do you think they're going to show Intergalactic? Are they going to show Fair Games? Because I heard the internals on Fair Games came back piss poor. Or are they going to show that Horizon spinoff with the goofy guys? There's a lot weighing on them. Here's the part where they can just absolutely fumble it. Because Nintendo's going to show Zelda. They showed Nintendo have so much that they showed Star Fox already. They showed what you would have gave a rib for. PlayStation guys would have gave a rib for that. Diddy's home. Diddy is home. Get your baby all ready. Because the PlayStation show is going to be an afterthought. When Nintendo and Xbox get through with them. I don't know what games they can show. I don't know what they can possibly do to stop the bleeding. But again, if you believe that Wolverine is more famous than this dude here, if you believe Wolverine is more famous, oh, maybe you can't see. Maybe you got cataracts. Maybe you need to see who the hell I'm talking about. I'm talking about this guy right here. If you think Wolverine is more famous than this guy, you're smoking rocks. They don't have that this year. They don't have that this year. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. It's going to be heavily reliant on third party. All those games is going every place else. Exclusive deals. With Xbox possibly showing Death Stranding 2, we already know that Rebirth is going to be shown there. It's already, hey, it's time. PlayStation is losing their grip. And Xbox is squeezing their throat tighter. Pause. This was set up to be the battle of the showcases. And the more I dissected it, the more I looked at it, I said, one of those dudes is going to pull up lame. Well, I know for a fact Nintendo's coming to play. They're coming to play. Because their price goes up in September for the console, for the Switch 2. And before that, in July, you get a little Star Fox. You want a little Star Fox? And they're going to show you some Zelda. I honestly believe they might show you a little Mario. Pause. Or you might get the Luigi's Mansion that they were talking about. There's so many different areas that Nintendo is definitely going to be able to attack their show from. I don't know exactly the IPs that Sony has been cultivating. Are they new IPs? Or you're going to hear something about them having a new partnership deal with somebody. You see, Bungie dying, soon to be completely absorbed. I don't know what they turn into. I want to know what studio is next to cut. Because functionally, they're looking completely done. Now, something I knew Xbox was supposed to do, and as far as value goes, I waited for this for a long time. I wanted this so bad. I was going to use this service so much. Iron Lords was already picking who was going to be in the service, how we was going to run this play. I was going to buy 2 plans. One of the things that was on the list for player voice was the family plan. And this is brought to you by Pure Xbox and Fraser Gilbert. Xbox reporters shed some light on why Game Pass family plan might have been canceled. It suggests that EA has something to do with it. EA, you hating son of a... I swear to God, EA, if you was the cock blocker in this situation, if you stopped us from getting to this glory land, pause. I swear for God. Yo, what's up with that family? How the hell? Oh, they must have, all right, so that must be stepdaddy. And he brought his stepdaughter, and that's stepmom's, and she brought her stepson, and that's the new nuclear family. Anyway, it's been multiple years now since Xbox teased us with the multiple tests for the Xbox Game Pass Friends and Family plan. Now, I heard that thing was like in India or something like that. I was so jealous. They got a chance to utilize it. See, because right now, I pay for Game Pass for my daughters and for me and my son, right? So under my daughters, both of them got that. Under my son, me and him share this one, right? He gets the bigger benefit because I get a lot of NDA games, and I tell him, listen, make sure that you offline all the time if you're actually gonna look at anything. Anyway, back in 2022 and 2023, but then at the end of 2023, it was suggested that the program was being put on hiatus. In an update from Phil Spencer at the time, he advised that his team needed to find a way to make Friends and Family work for both creators and players. And there was still a roadmap to try to put things together in the future. Now, in 2026, Windows Central reporter Jez Corden, I cannot wait to see you next week, bro, has mentioned that the cancellation of the Xbox Game Pass family plan wasn't actually Microsoft's fault, at least of what he's heard. He instead advises that it might have been EA that put up the biggest fight against it, claiming that the company fully hated the idea and was the only reason for the cancellation. Probably not, but it might as well have been a big one. Bro, EA, I'm going to need you to step up here and take your lashings. Because, partner, you meddled with my funds, saving cash. Do you know how many family plans that they could have probably sold? Do you know how many people would have probably went over based upon that? I think Xbox would have hit that 60 to 80 million subs that they were looking for with the family plan. Who knows the marketing beat that they would have had ready to go? But with hating ass EA, because, we got EA access and we don't want them to access us. They got to pay for us separately. You hating because nobody wants your service. We only get it because it's inside Game Pass. Man, when this news came up, I was pissed off. I don't know if you guys were pissed off. When I heard this, I was just like, this is the reason why I'm not a leaker. Pause. I don't want to know stuff because I will definitely call it out. I'm not going to hold my tongue for nobody. Watch it. But this is Xbox Frontline News with a funny one today. A day which I, did Boom Show early, and we did have some conversation about the new structure of what Game Pass could look like, with the thought of first-party games leaving or staying. or for day and date, or some type of way in which they can make it happen. You see, the reason why I know that they're debating these things is because seeing the deal with Discord, knowing that there's some type of deal they're working with Netflix, understanding that her main priorities is getting software and services to be in the plus 16 to 13 column. We're trying to revitalize hardware with using player voice as your barometer of what needs to be fixed and changed first. With the true voices that matter, that is on that player voice, Xbox player voice spreadsheet. Exclusives top the chart. I know I'm not the only console warrior because exclusives matter to those individuals that are standing 10 toes down like myself. And if it comes at a cost of reconfiguring Game Pass to make it make sense, I was there paying $29.99. So again, if I got to go back to $29.99 to have all my Xbox titles day and date inside that for me, then I'm just going to boogie my way that way. And I'm going to get that. But if it starves these guys out, if it takes food out of their mouth, then I'm all for it. Because as we're having fun with Forza Horizon 6, and they can do nothing but peek through the window, because remember, they all got high-powered PCs. Well, then get your ass over on Forza Horizon 6 and have fun on that PC. Because if she cuts that pipeline, you ain't going to Japan unless you come over through Xbox Airlines. We're taking off where Spirit left off. The cheapest way to fly is on our S line, and we'll get you there on that little white square. But this is Xbox Frontline News with your boy, The King. If you liked anything that you've seen here, hit that like, hit that sub, hit that notification. Because I drop videos on the weekend. I go live daily, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with Friday being a special day because we do Fight Night Friday. And tomorrow I'll be in my Afro Samurai gear. And I got something new from a sponsor that I'll be debuting tomorrow. It's going to go with the costume. I find it to be nice. My wife was like, they're spoiling you. And I said they should, because I's the king. But I want you to go where I'm about to go. I want you to go where game is game. And win is win. Look at Bella. The only reason why I'm laughing, she knows this part. She was dead sleep snoring. She knows daddy's almost finished. And I want you to try to play the Game Pass. But before you play the Game Pass, Bella is crazy. I told you I'm the unmitigated champion of this. And if you think anybody got a better intro, then put them up.
What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it. It's that Xbox. Spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling. Moonwalking, selling moonrise just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That flash making a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's a man or a king? What's to the saying? Advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot what said as you claim it.
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from. I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted.